Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where we talk about mangas and sometimes books. And happy new year guys. I cannot believe it's already 2026. But before I get started with this video, I just want to say thank you all for watching me and hearing me jab about books and mangas last year. I never imagined that I would have so many people hear me jab non-stop about books and manga and anime. I just want to say thank you all so much for your support last year, and I hope to continue keeping you guys entertained with my channel this year. I wish you all a happy new year. I hope all your new year resolutions are coming true. I hope we all stay happy and healthy this year. And let's talk a bit about my reading goals for this year. So first of all, I bought a lot of books last year. So for this year, I'm trying not to buy a lot of books. I'm mainly going to focus on new releases or books I'm excited about that are coming out, and that it's the same thing for mangas. I feel like last year I spent a lot of money on mangas and I have yet to read honestly 100% of the mangas that I got last year. So for this year I'm trying to spend less and read more. Those are my reading goals. So with all of that being said, let's get started with today's videos. As you guys can see by all of this, I'm going to be talking about my favorite books of 2025. And while I was looking through my list of favorite books, I realized that I have a lot to talk about and I could not add in the manga in this video. So look forward to other two videos that I'm going to be doing, where one of them is going to be for the manga, my favorite manga of last year, and depending on how long the manga video is, I might do a separate one for anime. So for now, it's only going to be about books. I have a lot to talk about, and I'm going to start off with the ones that I don't own a physical copy of, because whether I listen to the audiobook, I read it on Kindle, or I got it from the library. So without any more further ado, let's get started. For now, you guys might see the cover of the book on your screen, but because I don't own them, I don't know what to do. So I'm going to try and keep this as entertaining as possible. But the first book that I want to talk about is That's Not My Name. That's Not My Name. It's a thriller mystery. It's by Megan Lally, and in this one with some teenagers. There are seniors in high school. They are about to graduate, but something happened, and this story takes off when one random night, this girl wakes up and she's hurt. I think she's been in a car accident. She's hurt, she's bruised, and she starts coming out of the forest. And at that time, there was a cop doing its rounds, and he sees this person. He sees this girl. The cop looks at her and she's like, oh, okay, you need help. Let's go back to the station. We can get a paramedics there, and let's go back to the station. He brings her into the station and he starts questioning her, do you remember what happened? Do you remember where you were going? And she's having trouble remembering all of this. And that's when there's a knock on the door of the station, and the cop goes and he answers, and it's this guy. He's like, hey, I'm here to report my missing daughter. She was supposed to meet me at our cabin, and she hasn't showed up. It's been more than 24 hours. I cannot get in touch with her. And the cop is like, okay, I'll help you do the report. Do you have a picture of your daughter? And the guy is like, yes, I have everything about my daughter right here. So the cop looks at the picture, and he realizes that the girl in the picture is the one that's currently sitting on a chair in the office. And that's where everything starts to unravel, because at that same moment in another town, there's a high school kid is being interrogated by the cops because his girlfriend is missing. And throughout the entire story, you kind of see like everything happening. I got very upset with the cops of the other town, because like the cop wanted to have the mystery resolved, and like he was putting so much blame on a child without having actual evidence. I was so mad. It's such a great mystery thriller. If you're new to mysteries, I would recommend this one. Like, it will grab you. It will not let you go until the very end. And when you think you know where the story is going, you don't. You absolutely don't know where the story is going. 100% recommend. 100% recommend. Please give That's Not My Name a try. The next book I'm going to be talking about is Haunted by Darcy Coates. Now, in this story, this is another mystery thriller. It's also categorized as a horror, and it does have like a bit of horror elements. So in this story, we follow this girl. She just graduated high school. She's about to go into college, but she doesn't want to immediately go to college, so she has decided to take a year off. Now, what happens is she's someone who likes to hike. She likes nature. She likes to be in the forest, and she decides to travel. Now, she is doing all of this by herself. One day, she decides to go into this like very well-known forest, and like it's supposed to be a very safe place because they have like designated paths where hikers have to go, have like a walk through, so it's not like easy for them to get lost. What happens is she's having the time of her life until she realizes that she might be being followed, and then she gets lost. It is now night, and she is being followed, and she decides, you know what, like I don't have like anything to light my way except my camera and the flash of my camera. That's when she decides to start taking pictures. And in one of those pictures, she sees that there's something huge stalking her, and that's where we switch perspectives, well, points of views. What happens now is everything goes dark, and now we are in the point of view of a guy that has like a huge crush on her, which I will say he's like her stalker. Anyways, this guy is like stalking her social medias, and he realizes that she hasn't posted anything in a couple of days, and so he obviously gets worried, and so he goes to the brother of this girl. It's like, hey, your sister hasn't been like active on her social medias. This is the last time she posted, and ever since there hasn't been anything new. And the brother is like obviously creeped out by this guy, like, dude, go get a life, leave my sister alone. And the stalker is like, no, there's something going on, and I will figure this out. So he decides to leave. He decides to go to this forest, and a couple of days later, the family of, I think her name was Elia, something like that. I don't remember her name. Although that's how the story starts, she's not the main character of the book. The main characters are the following: her brother and their friends. Because days after the stalker leaves, let's say it's been like a week or so, the family is now starting to worry about Ella, because they have not been able to get in touch with her. It's been like zero communication. They cannot get in touch with her, and so they have decided to go into this small town where the hiking trail is at, where the forest where she was supposed to be at is located. So they go in, they make a report, but the police are obviously not taking this seriously. She's like a college student, she's of age, she can take care of herself, of course. So what happens is the friends and the brother make a decision where they are going to go into the forest and try to locate her themselves, because obviously the police are not doing anything. And that's where everything goes down the drain, because as they are walking through the forest, they all feel like they're being stalked by something. And that's where I'm going to leave you guys. This book is so good. I actually listened to the audiobook, and if you have the opportunity to listen to the audiobook of this book, I 100% recommend, because it was so entertaining. It was like watching a movie, and I would 100% watch a movie if they made this book into it. It's so good. It's the best. Like, it has you at the edge of your seat, is all I have to say. I recommend this one as well. If you have read like thrillers, or you're looking for something different, I recommend this one. It does tend to be a bit creepy at points, but yeah, it's so good. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the following book is The Overnight Guest. This is by Heather Goodenkopf. Hopefully that's how you pronounce that. And this is the last thriller of the books that I don't own. And just like the other ones, I 100% recommend this one. And this was another one that I listened to in audiobook. And again, if you have the opportunity to listen to this, I would 100% recommend. This one, we follow a true crime writer. Her name is Wiley, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Anyways, so she's a true crime writer. She has decided to go into a cabin to write her newest book, and while she's in that cabin, there's like a whole snowstorm, and she is now stuck inside that house. What happens is, in this house, in the cabin or the house that she's staying at, in the past there was a crime that happened, and that crime was very gruesome. It was very violent, and now she is stuck staying in that house. So the house has a lot of secrets. And then one day, Wiley decides to like go out on a walk. She's stuck. She's trying to get her head clear, and that's when she sees that there's a child outside, like laying in the snow, and this girl is like passed out. She decides to bring in the girl inside the house, and that's where stuff starts to happen, because not only is this girl, but there's someone else stalking them. There's someone else who's trying to get the girl back. But not only the girl, there's someone else. There's like two other people that are trying to get back the girl, and that's how things start to unravel. You are not only going to get what is happening at the present, but you also get the story of what happened in the past with the crime that was committed inside the house. And it's fascinating. It's like, you think, again, this is another one where you think you know where this story is going to get, but you get like plot twist after plot twist, and you cannot catch a break. It's a very great thriller. It's a great mystery. It has like the atmospheric, the way the author wrote the atmosphere of being stuck inside a cabin, and outside there's like a whole snowstorm happening. Amazing. I enjoyed that so much. And I have to say that the reason why these three thrillers, That's Not My Name, Haunted, and The Overnight Guest, are my favorites, it's not only because they were like super entertaining, they like grip you from the very beginning until the last moment, but they're also like they kind of made me cry. All three of them made me cry, and I feel like I always appreciate when a book makes me cry, because I'm not someone that goes into books knowing that they are sad books, especially when it comes to a thriller. Like, you never expect a thriller mystery to make you cry, but these three were ones that did, and it's one of the reasons why I really like them, because they made me feel something other than like nerves and like, oh my god, I need to run along with the character. Let's move on to the MMM romance that I read on Kindle Unlimited, and the one that I got from the library. By the way, like, I don't know what's wrong with my throat. it's like doing something really funny. Like I have water right here with me so that I can like hydrate, but I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of break. I got sick in December, and so I feel like I'm still like my throat is still not at its best. But anyways, let's start with, okay, so this one I got it from the library, and it's called Fall for Him. This is by Andy Burke. And yeah, so this is a romance. We follow two neighbors who they don't get along, I would say, and like mainly it's because one of them has like the bad impression of the other. I feel like they think he's like really cocky. So one of them is named Derek and the other one is named Dylan. Derek and Dylan. One of them is a nurse. He works at the emergency room, and the other one is a like what is he, like a contractor. He fixes houses. And how do they meet? I mean, of course they're neighbors, of course they've met, but that's not how it starts. It starts with, I'm pretty sure it's Dylan, who, you know, his stuff that happens, his ceiling fell on top of Derek, and he basically landed on Derek's bed. Yeah, that's how everything starts, and from there they will become some sort of like roommates because of this entire issue, where Dylan now has to fix the ceiling of the apartment, but also the ceiling of Derek's room. And that's how they start to connect. They start to talk. The like mistakes and impressions they had of one another start to clear off, and they start to develop feelings for one another. I feel like this was a really good story, and I really enjoyed it. I read this at the beginning of the year, and I wish I could reread it. I don't own the book, sadly, but yeah, I think it's a great story, and I 100% recommend. It's very opposites attract. And let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this other one is another series. This is I would say it's more of a fantasy type of series, more, well, not fantasy, but more of like supernatural fantasy, maybe. This one is Dead series. This is by Van Cassidy, and in this story we follow Tristan, I'm going to call him like that. Tristan is a pathologist, so he's used to working with the dead. What happens is one day their little office is getting ready to say goodbye to one of their employees, and they go into this bar. Now Tristan he's like a very awkward person. He's not very outgoing. He's like he doesn't feel comfortable like in parties or like gatherings, and so at first he was like very like, I don't want to go, but one of like his friends is like, you need to go, you need to get out of like working with the dead, you need to get out, you need to go out and have fun, like just come to the party for a while and then you can go. And so that's what happens. He goes into the bar, and the moment he steps into the bar, he sees a very handsome guy, and like Tristan is like, okay, maybe I can stay for a while. This is so funny because Tristan is like, he's like very flushed and like very like, oh my god, like that guy is so hot, like I cannot stop staring at him. And so this guy turns around and they make eye contact with one another, and Tristan is like, oh my god, like Tristan is getting nervous, and like especially because the guy, like the very hot guy that was like standing right there, is like making his way to his table, and Tristan is like I'm sorry, just I remember that I cannot help but laugh, but like Tristan is like freaking out. He's freaking out because this guy is coming over to his table. And so what happens is he grabs the cup of water he was drinking and like he like chugs it. And the thing is, Tristan didn't notice that there was a piece of ice inside that water. And so what happens is he starts to choke on the ice, and then he like passes out. And yeah, like the paramedics need to come and rescue him. And then that's when we learned that the guy that he was checking out is a police. His name is Danny. And when Tristan comes back from like passing out for a couple of minutes, he sees this, like the guy he was crushing on, like just looking at him. It's so funny. And you know, Tristan is obviously mortified. He is like, okay, I think I've embarrassed myself enough already. So he decides to go with the paramedics, and just to make sure that he's okay, because apparently he did pass for like 2 minutes or so until he was brought back to life. Now the following day he goes into work, and when he gets there, there's like a new body that has been brought in from the police department, I think. Anyways, so he says this, and he's like doing his job right as a pathologist. You might know what they might be doing. And so all of a sudden he sees that there's someone standing at the door. And well, not standing at the door, I think they're like standing in front of the bed where they're keeping the body. And he's like, whoa, you're not allowed to be here. And he's like, you can see me. And Tristan is like, of course I can see you. What do you mean I can? He's like, and then Tristan looks at the person, the body on the table, and then he looks up, and then he looks back on the table, and then he faints. We learned that now Tristan, because he did pass for like a while, he now has the ability to see ghosts. And that's where I'm going to leave you. He does meet again with Danny, and it's very funny. I really enjoy this series. It's like, I have no idea how many books there are. I think there's 6 books. I've read up to the 3rd book. I have yet to read the other 3 books, but I feel like that's a goal for this year. I 100% recommend this one, especially if you like supernatural elements in books. I really like when, I think I've said this before, I think I said it when I was opening the Dan Mays from Jiggy. I really like when there's a character that has the ability to see ghosts. I feel like that's fascinating. It's interesting. I have no idea how I would react if I had that ability, but I like to live vicariously from the characters, and it's really fascinating the way Tristan reacts. And I have to say that meet cute between Tristan and Danny, hilarious. I really like the story. And so now let's move on to the other 2. So the last 2 books, on the ones that I don't own physically, are by the same author. She's one of my favorite authors. I feel like I really enjoyed all of her books that she comes out with. Her name is Alice Winters, and the books that I'm going to be talking about are part of a 3-book series. There's only 3 books out now. I feel like there's going to be another one this year, but I'm not sure. But the name of the series is Vexing the Villains, and I read the 2nd and 3rd book. The 2nd book is called A Hero in Hiding, and the 3rd book is called A Rogue Inside. So this, I cannot talk about the 2nd book or the 3rd book without like giving major spoilers for what the story is about, but I just want to let you guys know that this is my favorite series. We follow superheroes and villains, and in the 1st book, which is what's the name of the 1st book? The name of the 1st book is A Villain for Christmas. So basically in the 1st book, our 2 main characters whose story continues in the 2nd book, one of them is, so the hero's name is August, and name of the villain, August. Me saying it's my favorite story, and I already forgot the name of one of the characters. So it's not telling me the name of the villain, which you would think it's important. Oh my goodness. Hold on, guys. I got it. I had to download a sample of the book, but the villain's name is Landon. So we have August and Landon. Landon is the villain, like I've said, and August is the hero. Their meet cute is when Landon is robbing a bank, and August, as the hero, obviously goes and tries to stop him. And after that, they kind of like meet without having like their suits, and they kind of hit it off. And then it's like you're basically watching a superhero and a villain falling off. And you know what? Go for it. I really enjoyed this story, even though I forgot the name of one of the characters. This is, like I said, it's a very fun story. In this first book, you basically see like their romance story, but in the second book, you see how much pressure it is for August to be a hero. So the second book has a heavier topic about how being a hero is not all about the fame. There's a lot of pressure on them to like be perfect and all of that, and you basically see how that has put August in a like really tough spot, especially when a villain from his past comes into his present, and like it brings up this very huge accident that happened, and how that is affecting August, like that like guilt that he felt when that whole accident happened, how that he's been dealing with it, and like he hasn't been dealing with it like a very good way, and how like realizing that being a hero is not all fun and games. And I really enjoyed that. And in this second book, we get a third character who is the main character of the third book. So his name is I should know this. Hold on, let me download the sample of it. For some reason I'm blanking on names. Oh that's right. Okay, so the name of the other character, his name is Asmodeus, and he is a paid killer. And in the second book, he is like a target has been put on Landon and August specifically, and that's how they meet. Now in the third book, that's his story with another guy who also shows up in the second book, and this guy is named Ellison, and he's like, I would say he's like a PR guy. Like he's in charge of making sure the heroes have like this very clean image, and that's how Ellison and Asmodeus meet. And in the third book, we get their story, and basically it's like a very sad story. But I was about to say I like more rogue inside, but I feel like I like both of them. There's a reason why both of them are like in this list. But yeah, I 100% recommend the story. If you like heroes and you've always wanted to read a story where the hero falls for the villain or the villain falls for the hero, definitely that's like the most opposites attract, and it's so good. I really like Alice Winter's humor. I feel like her stories are very like campy and like very hilarious, but I really like the fact that she knows how to balance that with like a real topic, and like she adds a lot of depth into her characters and their backgrounds and their stories. And if you're like, I don't want to read a lot of smut, because sometimes romance books do tend to have a lot of smut. But with Alice Winter, you have to know that throughout, like, I think how many pages, like 300 pages, you are going to find like at least 2 smut scenes throughout the entire book. So that's another reason why I really like her books, because she tends to focus a lot more on the characters, their development, and the plot story. So yeah, please give those books a try. She's my favorite author. I could go on and on and on about like her books because I've read all of them, well, most of them. But yeah, I 100% recommend Alice Winters if you want to start reading romance. And now let's move on to all of this.